Anubis 2, huh? Worst game for the Wii. That can't be possible. That can't be possible because this is! Data Interactive Design and their publishing buddy Conspiracy Entertainment is at it again. They couldn't just stop with Anubis 2, oh no. They couldn't just stop with Ninja Bread Man or Action Girls Racing, Trixie and Toyland, Mythmaker Supercart, Kawasaki Jet Ski. I mean, my god, they wouldn't stop making crappy shovelware games for the Wii. A large part of me is happy to see that these games exist, that there's evidence of such a long series of terrible games being made, and that I can hold it and say, I have proof that for one reason or another, someone thought this was a good idea. But then I remember a time when I was much younger, out at a GameStop with my dad, looking at games, trying to figure out what to buy for the Wii. I remember him pulling out one of their games, Ninja Bread Man to be exact, and saying it looked interesting enough and it was super cheap. At the time, I didn't know any better. I didn't get it because I had something specific in mind that day, but what about all the kids and parents that were suckered into buying this? It very well could have been me. As a kid with very little money, getting a new game was ceremonious, and I'd play even the worst games into the ground if it's all I had to do. There's no way these guys believed in these products, and they were out to make some quick cash, and when I think about it, it really puts a pit in my stomach, you know? The manipulation to sell a terrible product under the guise that it's cheap, so only those who are looking for something cheap buy it, and then they end up with this. Can't say I like it. But hey, you know what? That was 10 years ago, and as a collector now, I find this shit hilarious. I know I said Anubis 2 was one of the worst games I've ever played on the Wii on one of my older videos, but let me level with you here. Billy the Wizard sits head and shoulders above many other Data Interactive Design games. I think it takes home the trophy as the worst of them all. Just a disclaimer, I haven't played them all, but you can bet your ass I plan on one day assembling all the pieces of Exodia, where I become that friend who tells you, oh man, check out this sweet game I found. I can't believe no one's ever heard of it. Here, sit down, give it a try, this thing is a masterpiece. Just to put you in front of one of these games. Oh, can't jump, huh? No, it's easy! No, check it out, easy, I beat it. You just need to be willing to spend, you know, an hour of your precious short life per stage doing this. Hey, you know, I'm derailing a bit here. This is about Billy the Wizard. So how about we pop that sucker in, huh? Check out what we're dealing with here. Okay, alright. And, hey, you know, I think I'm having kind of deja vu here. I just said this wasn't an Anubis 2 review, but let me take you through the startup, side by side with Billy the Wizard, Anubis over here. Aw, man. Those cheeky bastards. They didn't even bother to change anything in the interface. Same thing, same engine, just a couple of assets dragged and dropped in. Nintendo actually licensed this and gave it the green light to be released on the Wii. So we're just gonna jump right into this, and once you hit the play game button, you'll be introduced to this character select screen. And these are some of the most ugly character models I've ever seen. I'm gonna go with Helmet Head here because I got a good chuckle out of him. So we got 6 levels times 4 different modes, so 24 levels in total. In today's lesson, you will learn some basic broom flying skills, fly through the hoops and... Oh no. I hope flying through hoops doesn't become a trend. So it appears that the first series of levels is a tutorial. The first level just has you fly straight forward, which is fine, but then they decide to introduce movement. Oh no. But why though? Why do I control my movement in floating 3D space with a device that's barely good at detecting anything? This isn't the Wiimote I'm moving with, this is the nunchuck. The nunchuck I am moving with. Not the joystick, not the D-pad, no buttons, motion nunchuck. This thing doesn't even have a gyroscope in it. I don't even know how it's doing this. And you want me to move through rings with accuracy with this thing? Why not the analog stick? If you wanted to force the motion gimmick, why not the Wiimote? Why not anything but this? You know, I always kinda defended motion games too. I mean, could it usually be implemented better? Yeah. Are there times when games use it when they shouldn't? Yeah, definitely. Is it kinda finicky? Occasionally it can get a little finicky, yeah. But damn it, after just a little bit of adjusting, I found them to be fun for what they were. And then this just comes in and blows all of that out of the water. When people were crapping on Wii games because of their motion controls, I was just trucking along. Red Steel was a game I bought with my launch copy of the Wii, and I found it good for what it was. I adored games like Elebits, and it was one of my favorites at the time, but it got panned for motion controls. I'm about as tolerant as you can get when it comes to motion controls. But this is unforgivable. Things really go to crap when you get past the tutorial and you move on to the first game mode, which is Broomstick Racing, or the Grand Prix. Race laps around the field against 5 other NPCs as you attempt to fly through rings. Did we learn anything at all from Superman 64? Anything? But no, instead you want to add this to it? It pains me to say that I got somewhat used to steering this thing. But even then, there's just no control. You either go absurdly slow and never beat anyone, or you go too fast and you never in your wildest dreams go in any of the rings. Instead, I got lapped, I got double lapped, I got triple lapped for practically the first hour I tried playing this mode. You know, I make it a point to see every game I decide to review to the end, but I just don't know if I could do it with this one. It feels literally impossible. Call me an idiot, but I decided I couldn't be defeated so easily, so I played, and I played, and I played this level. And eventually, by some miracle, I managed to beat the first race. The first race, and it was like 2 to 3 hours before I managed to do that much. I have no clue how long it's going to take for me to do this 5 more times, let alone beat the other game modes. And once you beat the first stage and move on to the second one, you realize that they didn't even make a second map for this game. They just kinda moved the rings to a different place on the same map. Every race, every level, every tutorial, it all takes place at this dirt lot with a school floating in the sky. Don't worry, if you put the rings somewhere else, no one will notice you're playing at the exact same level. Okay, so enough about these races. We'll revisit them down the line because they're basically impossible. We have 2 other game modes to look into, so let's see how these shake things up. Next is Spellbook Chaos. Magic books are going crazy, and it's your job to round them up. Fly around and grab them all before the timer runs out and you win. I'm not even sure what the difference is between all 6 levels. Sometimes I had to get 12 books and sometimes I had to get 8 books. But they're all the same books and it's all on the same level, so... I didn't even pay attention if each level had a different amount of time allotted to it, because you get so much time to beat them that they were impossible to fail. That was a completely wasted mode. I guess that one I blew through in no time at all. So we got our last mode here, the Green Dragon Attack. The school is being attacked by a Dwagon, and you need to defeat it before the timer runs out. This is where you need to use the attack function. Now, given the fact that you move in the most nonsensical way imaginable, it would only make sense that attacking would be in the most nonsensical way possible too, right? You literally do this. That's right, while tilting around your nunchuck frantically hoping for any reaction whatsoever, you need to do controlled movements where you raise and throw down the Wiimote like you're doing wand attacks. Have you ever managed to pat your head and rub your stomach? Okay, well, imagine doing that, but now pat your head in the rhythm of Jingle Bells. Okay, now imagine you're sitting on your hand for 8 hours, and then you pull it out and it's all dead, and you can't feel it, and then you rub your stomach with that, because this game gives you no feedback. Okay, now imagine you're literally having a life or death stroke, and you can't hear out of one ear, and your vision's going, and, you know, instead of doing the smart thing and calling for help or getting an ambulance, you're just going to die there, patting your head with some holiday spirit and rubbing your stomach with a stump like a moron. That's what this game feels like. It feels amazing and I love it. Just really, the fact that you can do this with a cash grab and not a deliberate attempt to make something as bad as possible, Amazing. The modern day Mona Lisa. I'm moving on. So, despite all of this, the green dragon levels aren't too hard. Your projectiles have homing, certain levels of homing, so you just need to kinda line yourself up and fire. But how about that multiplayer mode? Interested in that? Neither are any of my friends. So I just turned on a second controller and let it spin out of control while I demonstrate what the game modes are all about. I'm gonna speed through these though, because they're not all that interesting and I didn't have a second player to really feel them out with. First we have Broomstick Battle, where you both fly around and shoot each other and nothing else. Hit the player to get points, have the highest points when the timer runs out, and you win. Given how movement and shooting is a complete mess, I can't imagine this looking anything less than stupid. The next one is called Orb Domination. This is basically a territory game mode. You touch orbs and they turn into your color. Getting them as well as keeping them gets you points. The first player to score 100 points wins. Then we have Hoop Quest. Fly through the rings to score points. Whoever has the most when the time runs out wins. Did I mention all these are on the same map? Even all the multiplayer modes are on the same depressing empty map. And they all boil down to points, fly through rings, waggle occasionally, and more points. I'd say more about these modes, but even if I had a friend to play these with, they're pretty bare bones and they're about as bad as they sound. So we've checked out the multiplayer, we've beat nearly all the game modes. All that's left is to beat the single player Grand Prix to 100% this game, the mode that has been borderline impossible for me to complete. So let me tell you, I sat down and I played this. And I played this for hours, then days. I got extremely good at moving my character around and started coming up with strategies. Characters have collision boxes that are like 10 times the size of them. So I'd restart the stage over and over trying to blast past everybody the first couple of seconds of the race, just so I could use my collision box to prevent them from passing me for the rest of the game. But even this wasn't flawless, as it was extremely difficult to maintain any logical path from one ring to the next, and eventually someone would sneak by me. I tried attacking them by swinging the Wiimote, which kind of worked, but it didn't do enough to warrant throwing myself off the track because I was moving both hands so erratically. I kept playing, and I kept playing, and I started beating them. And I kept beating them, and I started getting through all of them, one by one, until I did it! And with no fanfare to speak of, only a title screen that says 100% to prove it. No bonus, no award, no congratulations, no game over, no nothing. I can't say I expected anything, but this doesn't make the disappointment go away. And that's Billy the Wizard, a legendary piece of Wii software rivaled only by the other games made by the exact same company. To be honest, there really is plenty of terrible Wii games. Not all of them were made by Data Design Interactive. This company just goes above and beyond though, and they didn't stop at one bad game or gimmick. For me, they'll go down in infamy as the company that never gave up, that tried and tried again to make a breakthrough with their newest asset swap, to come into the market saying no, no Iron Chef, no babysitting mama, we will have revolutionarily bad controls. We will do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, as if we were insane. I mean seriously, how did they come out with all of these? I don't even own everything they put on this system. This is just one developer you're looking at. I salute you, Data Design Interactive. May we meet again when I hoard up your terrible games. Oh, hi there. Thanks for being a cool dude and watching my video. If you enjoyed it, you can subscribe to catch future videos. I plan on coming out with a video at least every week. And the more I say that, the more I realize I suck with schedules. YouTube copyright has kinda been jerking me around with anime reviews, so it sorta prevented my last 3 videos I wanted to have up on YouTube. I have them over on a website called VidMe though, where you can find me under the same username. Yeah, that should be everything. I'm gonna awkwardly go away now because I don't know how to close this out. Yup.
I know something way better than those things with wizards. Hush, little child. This is a Foster Farms box.